So today we're doing something a little different. I know I said it was going to be a keyboard video, but things changed. I ran out of time and other things came together and all sorts of stuff. So instead of just sitting on my hands and not making something, I'm going to do this. I recently picked up an RPi 5 from a Micro Center grand opening for, a little under MSRP, which is weird. Not a big fan of them because they are pretty proprietary, but it is nice to play with one. So I'm going to show you how to put AlmaLinux on it. First, we're going to do the GUI version, and then in a later video, I'm going to just probably get an NVMe hat and put on it, and then try to flash the NVMe version. So to get the Raspberry Pi 5 images for AlmaLinux, you need to go to wiki.almalinux.org and click on Installation and Raspberry Pi. And you get here to this page, and they've got the download steps here for 8 and 9. I'm installing 9 because I don't need 8 for anything. The password and username are both AlmaLinux, all lowercase. They have some instructions here on downloading it and whatnot. You can just click on the thing here and go, I've already downloaded it, so those links are purple for me, but you can just download it in a web browser like normal. Then we can image it over to a drive. So I have already got it downloaded in a folder here and directory. So I know that my SD card is SDF, so always check that. And we're just going to image it over with DD. These are raw images, so not every disk imager program understands those. So the way you do that is sudo dd bs equals for capital M. And we want to do the in file as AlmaLinux gnome and the out file as dev sdf. Make sure you have that out file, that OF, to the right drive, and you can check your kernel messages, check in your favorite disk utility, and make sure that is correct. Because if you have, with sudo, you can do whatever. So if you have this set to like your boot drive or something, you just killed it. So this is a bit perfect copy. So I'm going to, can I blow that up any on the screen here? A little bit, there we go. So there's your command. We don't need a second, that's what we call a typo in the business, and we're gonna do that. And since I just recently used sudo, it's gonna go ahead and do it. I'm waiting on my SD card. Okay, the card reader just started flashing. I always get nervous because like I said, very destructive command. You can kill your everything with it. So make sure you've got that OF, the target, set just right. There are also other programs you can use. Yeah, so if you want a GUI, you can use Belina Etcher, which is for Linux, Windows, and Mac, I want to say. I know it's for Mac and Windows. Yeah, for Linux. So I just use DD. It's built in. Okay, and we are back. I just cut that out because it took a little while, but when DD gets done doing its thing, you get this little message, and you can just remove your card at that point. I'm going to go ahead and take these and start messing with my Raspberry Pi. So now we're up here. I have flashed a couple SD cards. We've got AlmaLinux with GNOME desktop, and then AlmaLinux with no desktop. So I have a feeling the GNOME's not going to go too well. We've got our ubiquitous 8 full-size HDMI to mini HDMI adapter that you need because, and they're in from wisdom, in the Raspberry Pi 4 they decided you needed 2 displays, and so they went to a mini HDMI. I'm also going to put an active cooler on this RPi because these 5s get hot as mess. I'm going to dig this out. Changed up some stuff. Got a different camera going this time. And changed up the background a little bit. I got this lavender desk mat. I like lavender. And it works a little bit better for filming on because you get a little bit, it kind of condenses the contrast. This table is dark and shiny. So we're going to peel off the wrapper. Free snack for later. Maybe for my cat. He likes to eat paper. So we just, the pads are all exposed. We just crunch it on there as I understand it. Yep, and aim for the holes. There's little peg holes there. And you just kind of push it in. Hold it there. Push it in. There we go. And we have fitted the active cooler. Now we need to plug in the fan, because, you know, active part of the active cooler. And this is where not having fat American fingers helps. But gotta work with what you're born with there. So, all right, we have our active cooler with the fan. I don't even know if that works. We can discard that box. Into the bin it goes. I'm going to go ahead and insert our SD card and get this plumbed up, bring you guys around and show you the monitor and get this going. Okay, and we're back. It's actually the next day. Due to a comedy of errors, technical difficulties, I did not get to record this the way I wanted to. I had an HDMI capture device that decided to quit working. It worked all through COVID and everything, and I hadn't used it in 3 years, and it died. So we're just aiming a camera at the screen, hoping for the best. I have the Pi booted into AlmaLinux here, into GNOME. I set the screen resolution to like 720p, so hopefully you can see it on the screen here on the camera. It also gives me this nice, shot of the Pi and the keyboard and everything. Just as I suspected, GNOME is a bit laggy on here. This is really running on a Pi, it's 7 gigs. I don't know if you can read that or not, but we have the LLVM pipe, the software rendering, basically, driver for video, so there's no hardware acceleration of anything to speak of. So we're on YouTube trying to watch a video, and it's not even loading the try restarting your device. No. Let's see if it'll load. Let's right click stats for nerds. Let's even. So we are playing, I don't know if you can see that too well, but holy cow. Yeah, it's not even loading. Okay, so watching Chuba clips on this, not an activity I would recommend. So first things first, I would enable the EPL repository extra packages for Enterprise Linux. So that is on here, EPL release. Yep, and it'll go and find it. Yep, we're okay with installing that. This gives you extra packages and whatnot that you can, install that aren't available in regular Enterprise Linux distro. But you can also, let's see, we can do DNF install nginx, sudo. It's a nice little trick there. You can do bang bang to get the last command run. We'll let it install nginx here. Anyway, so now we've installed nginx. We can enable it. Enable now nginx. There we go. System sudo ctl status nginx. Looks like it's running. All right, so get you a little bit zoomed out here. Maybe we can see a little bit more of the screen. We can go pop open a web browser. And sorry for just aiming a camera at the screen. I hate it when other people do that, but it's what I got right now because, yeah, turns out my value USB capture card just decided to go off and die. Oh, this is slow. Yeah, I would not use this for a desktop. Localhost, but 80. There we go. We've got our own web server running here. So really, the nice thing about this is that you can have an RPM-based environment instead of Raspbian or Raspberry Pi OS, which is Debian, which is fine. I like Debian. I use Debian all the time, but I use like proper Debian, not a derivative like that. But you can have an RPM-based OS and get practice with that environment. However, for what I would use a Raspberry Pi for with AlmaLinux, I would skip the GUI version and just get the console version. In fact, I have an NVMe for this, and I'm wearing an NVMe hat. I'm going to try to clone, and I'll be another video probably, I'll clone AlmaLinux on that and set this up as like a little server. The graphics side of this, if you want all of the secret Raspberry Pi drivers and all that stuff, you're going to have to use Raspberry Pi OS or something like LibreElect. But this is a good alternative to have. It does, for general tasks, it does seem to work. I'm kind of out of gas for this video. This has been like a bear to record. I don't know why. So hopefully it comes through better on the screen than it does in my head here. But thanks for watching. In a later video, we're going to image over the console-only version of AlmaLinux onto NVMe and stick this in a case and go. And I might do that a little differently. But thanks for watching. Give the video a thumbs up if you like it. All the usual YouTuber stuff. I'm going to cut this off before it cooks itself. And I will see you next time. Bye-bye.